and pause. Good morning. Happy Monday. Nice to see you here.
Good morning, Candy.
Hi. How'd you do with your decisioning? A couple of weeks ago, you were looking at some decisioning, Daniel.
Yeah, I've done some number crunching, and it seems like with the amount my target goal in terms of income and revenue, it doesn't seem like it's that difficult.
Okay. So is it just that you did the number crunching that kind of brought that clarity, or?
Yeah, exactly. Just like how many sessions do I want to coach per day, and then per week, how often do I want to coach per week, and then how much I want to charge, and then I had a matrix of my income potentials, and looks pretty doable. And I was thinking about, the time involved for coaching and everything, and I can do coaching and still do a lot of things for myself.
Yeah, sure. That's so exciting.
It is. That's
What a
cool.
great aha. So often when you do something like that, we crunch those numbers and then we look at them and we go, oh, well, that's not going to work. Either I have to work 80 hours a week, or something's off with my plans. So I'm really pleased to hear that first, that you looked at your numbers so that you could actually decide instead of just thinking about it, and then that it's completely doable, and with the balance of how you want to live your life too. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then my wife goes, well, we should travel more often too. I said, yeah, we can do that too.
Nice. That's amazing. Cool. Travel's a good thing for sure.
Yeah.
Morning, Loie. How are you? Good to see you here. I'm liking the new setup. I like the way your bookshelf is set up. It looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Melissa. Nice to see you. Good to see you. Hello, Lily. How are you? You're on mute. I can't hear you. Okay. I want to hear how the conversation went. You were going to have a conversation, Lily. Just put in the chat a couple of words about how your conversation went. I think it was with maybe one of your daughters or something like that. All right, so let's dive in. We're going to start today. There's a coaching exercise, not exercise, but a coaching approach that I really like. And it's called bottom lining. And when we do, the way you're nodding your head, when we do bottom lining, this is the hand signal, like, let's just get to the point real quick. So I would love you guys to type into the chat one word that describes how you feel right now. And I know there's always a delay between when you type and when I see it. Excited, Daniel. That's amazing. I love it. Tired. Okay, good recognizing. Great. Nice, Lily. Well done. Melissa, waiting for yours to pop up. It's coming soon. I know you're thinking. Thinking. Yeah. See, that's why it's like a coaching skill, just to go like, bottom line, where are we at? A bit stressed. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. So there is one more person just coming into the waiting room. Hello, Francesca. Nice to see you here. So now that we've decided, we found one word that describes how we feel just in this moment. Francesca, if you'd like to type in to the chat, if you're able, one word that describes how you feel right now. We're all sharing. And now what I'd like to do is I want to just pause and we'll breathe. If you've been following me for a while, you're probably well familiar with box breathing or bamboo breathing. It's a technique that I often share with my clients, and it just helps us to regulate our nervous system. It helps us to think more clearly. It helps us to just to sort of decompress a little bit. Francesca, thank you for sharing. Curious, what a wonderful word. That's a coaching word if I've ever heard it. And so the technique is very, very simple. You can apply it anytime. Nobody even needs to know you're doing it. And how we do it is we inhale for the count of 4. We hold at the top of the breath for the count of 4. We exhale for the count of 4. And we hold at the bottom of the breath for a count of 4. We're going to do one full cycle together, and then we'll get started. All right, so inhale for the count of 4. 2, 3, 4. Now we hold for the count of 4. 2, 3, 4. And exhale to empty for the count of 4. 2, 3, 4. And then hold empty for the count of 4. 2, 3, 4. Now let's go one more round. Inhale for the count of 4. Hold. Exhale. And hold. And come back and join me. Yes, Daniel, the box method. I've heard it called box breathing and bamboo breathing. And there's another term for it as well, this 4x4 breathing. And I can't remember what that one is. So if you know what it is, I'd love if you would share it in the chat too. Yeah. Have you heard the bamboo breathing term? Yeah. Okay. I call it 4x4 breathing, but that's just my term because I'm a numbers person. So it kind of goes with it. Yeah. Okay. So now that we've done that, just a little bit of breathing, now using that bottom lining technique, now how do you feel? Things will have changed for you. And I'd like to know what that is. Just type one word in the chat. Lighter. Oh, Melissa, that's a huge transformation in like less than 15 seconds. Daniel, calmer. Are you feeling, and I know this isn't bottom lining, but are you calmer and still excited, like still energized? Yeah, good. Francesca, ready, good. Lowy, clear. And that's so just within this, like it wasn't even 15 seconds. And yes, our thoughts change, our emotions change, but as soon as we just add such a short period of breathing, it is amazing what is different in our life. And Lily, relaxed, nice. So we're all coaches. And you know, the funny thing is we all know this, right? Like my coach tells me stuff all the time and I'm like, well, I know that, but I'm still not always doing it, right? I forget. And there's nothing wrong. It's just, I forget because I'm a human and I get busy and my brain runs around and does running around things, right? But your own science experiment in 15 seconds or less. 4x4 breathing, that box breathing, inhale for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, hold empty for the count of 4. And we only did 2 cycles. And look at these words, ready, relaxed, clear, calmer, lighter. What a difference, right? So I would encourage you to use that method. There is nothing in our life that cannot be improved with some good solid breathing, and our brain thinks better. You know, as soon as we can decompress just that little bit, our brain has so much more capability of good logical thinking, thoughts that serve us more, living in, you know, I would say, like living in a way that is more wholehearted and more fulfilling just by a little bit of breathing. So never underestimate the power of just a couple of breaths in such a simple way. A little bit of breathing, a little bit of focus. And so I just wanted to make sure that we started out in a different way today. Okay, was that helpful? I'd like to see you guys in the chat. Type in the chat, helpful? Yes. Will you use it? You don't have to use one word either. Hey, Melissa. Yes, you got your hand up. Let's see. Are you able to talk? You're not able to talk. Okay. Come
Sorry,
on,
yes, I'm able to talk. I just wanted to say bravo. That's it.
Oh,
I wasn't
thank you.
raising up.
That's wonderful. Okay,
I was just too
great.
lazy to type it. Sorry.
All right. Daniel, yes, just have to be aware to use it. Exactly. Right. And, oh, you can't see them right now, but I have kind of a wall full of Post-it notes beside my computer station, coaching station. And it's these little prompts that I try to remind myself. I remind myself about particular thoughts that I want to be integrating in my brain. I talk about different techniques, maybe my favorite question for the week for my clients. And so if you could see, there's all these bright colored Post-it notes there, and then they rotate, you know, as I move on to something else. So I'm glad that that was helpful. For those of you who don't know me well, my name is Candy Motzek. We have got a couple of new people on the line, and I am a coach for coaches. Like, it's as simple as that. And so this Monday time is a time that I gift to the coaching community just to help you get started in a way, a more intentional way. I believe that the world needs more coaches. We need more centered. We need more humanity. We need more ability to live that life that we were, you know, born to live. It sounds kind of like it's a trite thing to say, you know, live the life that you were born to live. But I deeply believe that we all have something in our life that we're meant to do. And if you are here on this call in this moment, or if you're watching the replay, there's no accident that you're here. And so welcome, and I hope that it's valuable for you. I do work with people one-on-one. If the way that I talk to people and the way that I speak with you resonates with you, send me an email, send me a DM. Love to hear from you. Okay. Now let's go on to the next thing. It is May the 2nd, and I wanted to give us all just a little bit of time. I hope you've grabbed a piece of paper or your journal and a pen, and I want you to think about the past 6 months. So for us, we're talking about, it's December 2nd, 2021. And we're still using that coaching skill of bottom lining, okay? So think about where you are today compared to where you were December 2nd. What one word would you describe your experience of that growth or lack of growth? Type it in the chat. I want to hear from you, and I'd love you to write it as well. Oh, Joanna, lovely. Blossoming. Melissa, growth, huge awakening. Daniel, opportunities. Amazing. Life-changing. Yeah. Discovering. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Lowy, exponential. Look at you guys. I am so thrilled to see these descriptive words. And look at those words in the chat as well. They might strike something for you. They might give you just a reminder of something that you've done or that you've accomplished or how you feel or something that's going on in your life. So use this time to inspire yourself as well. Wonderful. So all of this growth in the past 6 months. So now we're going to do just a little bit of writing. I'm going to give you about a minute, maybe a minute and a half with each question. Let me start my stopwatch so that I know where we're at. So thinking about the past 6 months, spend a little bit of time writing. What did I accomplish in the past 6 months? What have I accomplished? And you're going to see that I do the writing at the same time. Right. Now let me ask you the next question. We're still doing a retrospective. We're still looking back over the past 6 months. Spend a little bit of time writing over, these are the things that I am thankful for over the past 6 months. What am I grateful for in my life in the past 6 months? As we wrap this piece up, I don't want you to forget to be grateful to yourself. Grateful to who you were, grateful to the commitments that you made to yourself, grateful to the places that you stuck with it, grateful for choices that you've made. I'm just going to give you a few minutes to wrap up here, or a few seconds to wrap up. Okay. Next question, still about the last 6 months. It's December 2nd, 2021 through to today, May 2nd, 2022. What do you wish you had done but didn't? I'm not going to give you too long on this one because it's easy for us to go down rabbit holes and think about what we didn't get done. What do you wish that you had done but didn't? Back to me. So what's that like, thinking about the past 6 months? Accomplishing things you're grateful for, things that you wish you had done. You guys could come on, unmute yourself. You can put up your hand. We'd love to hear from you. Hey, Loie.
Hi.
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 Okay, I'll just say it feels forgiving.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, I don't mind sharing.
Okay.
One word of what we accomplished in the last 6 months, or what we acknowledge.
How do you feel about just doing the writing that you've just done, like thinking about the past 6 months, what you've accomplished, what you're thankful for, and what you wish you had done? How do you feel about doing this writing?
Well, I feel grateful because you kind of remind me of what I accomplished. And again, I kind of took it for granted and I forgot about things that have been accomplished. So yes, I feel very grateful and I'm kind of happy to see what have been done so far.
Yeah. And I think that you've really pointed to something, Melissa. You said it was something that you said, I want to sort of catch that thread, is that we forget, like you forgot that you've done this, right? And that is just a really normal human tendency to forget all the things that we've actually accomplished. I started writing these things down. I'm doing this exercise side by side with you. And what do I see? I'm like, oh my goodness, I've released weeks and weeks of podcast episodes. I have started this Monday complimentary coaching time. I published a book, all these things. And I'm like, oh, I forgot I did that. Like, wow, right? So all these things that we just forget that we did. So thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to share? What are you noticing about doing this writing exercise?
I'll go next.
Thanks,
It was
Daniel.
just creating some clarity as to what I'd done in the last 6 months and more self-discovery of that. So it was good.
Excellent. I'm glad. Anybody else like to go? Okay. Great. Now let's move on. So now we're going to think 6 months into the future. So we've got May, June, July, August, September, October. So it's November 2nd. For the next 6 months, let's pretend that it's November 2nd, which is kind of an interesting day, 11/2/2022. Let's think that it's November 2nd, 2022. And I want you to look back to today. What would you be thanking your old self for? What are you grateful to May 2nd version of you? I'm going to give you a minute and a half to write that down. How would you like to say thank you to yourself? What are you grateful that you did? Another 15 seconds. All right. So now this is a bit of a tongue twister question. I'm not 100% sure how to word it, but let me try. You tell me if it's confusing. So it's November 2nd, and you are looking back over the past 6 months. So from today to November 2nd, what do you wish you had done, but you didn't? Tell me if it's confusing or if you just don't like the question. Either is good.
I think it's just hard to visualize what you haven't done 6 months in the future.
Yeah. So, so much of the work that I do is this, like, we make so much better progress when we have that vision, right? And I've been thinking about it myself. And so this idea of like, what have I been putting off? What is that thing that I've been putting off that I kind of want to do, but maybe it's going to be harder than I thought it might be, like in my imagination. Maybe it's that I think I could do it another time, but I really find that it's something that's important to me. So that's the place that I'm looking for, is like, I guess another way of wording it would be, what is the one thing that you want to do in the next 6 months? Like, if there was only one thing, the most meaningful thing, that if you got to November 2nd and you hadn't done it, you'd be sad, you'd be sorry. So what is that one thing that you really are pulled to do? Thanks, Melissa. Saw your comment there. That's why I reworded.
Thank you. Now I like the way it sounds better now.
Yeah, that's helpful. I'm going to give you guys a minute, and I think you already know what it is. Just giving yourself permission to write it down. I'd love to hear what your one thing is. What is that one thing? And mine is a little surprising. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I'll share it with you after I hear from you guys. You can type it in the chat if you want, or you can take yourself off mute and share with the group. Hi, Melissa. Okay. What's your one thing?
Sorry about that.
What's the one thing?
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, all good.
I have a FOMO. I have the fear of not being full-time into my practice and still being stuck in my 9 to 5. Yeah, just thinking of it makes me feel some type of way, which is why at first I didn't like the question, because I was thinking about, well, why do I need to think about what I'm might failing at? That's how I perceive it at first. But then when you explain it, I'm like, okay, so if I switch it over, my fear is just not being full-time at my practice.
Okay. Good to know. And so I would encourage you to write that down. So you've really, sometimes there's that connection between the hand, the pen, and our mind, right? Mm-hmm. You write that down. That's the thing that I'm scared of. And then I want you just to do a little bit of journaling. Come back next Monday and share it with us what happened. I'm happy to sort of have these longer conversations.
Thank you.
Why are you afraid of that? It's not just saying I am afraid, but what's going to happen? Like, what's going to happen if you're still at your day job and coaching 6 months from now? I don't need to hear the answer now, but like, do a little bit of self-coaching there for yourself. Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Daniel, get more physically active. Oh, isn't that interesting? So that's the one thing that if it was November 2nd and you were looking back at Daniel from May 2nd, that if you didn't increase your activity level, that you would be like, I really wish I had done that. It's really important to me. So my little takeaway for you is, how we do one thing is how we do everything. And when we improve in one area, it has this spillover effect in so many areas of our life, right? So what will being more physically active, what will that give you? You don't need to talk about it, but just take that away and kind of journal on it, ponder on it. Like, if you were more physically active, in my imagination, you would get more oxygen in your body. Your body would probably feel lighter and more energetic. You might not be tired as quickly. You may find that there's a joy in just moving, right? So there can be so many things. And then when you feel better, then your relationships are better and everything is better. So look for that larger picture of what that will give you. And Loie, I have a specific dollar amount I'd like to make from coaching by the end of this year. Okay. What will that dollar amount, what is the feeling that you will have when you make that dollar amount?
I think it's a very accomplished kind of, big feeling. Like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah. So
Mm.
great thought. Yeah, I did it. To hang on to that thought. And then the feeling of accomplished. What does accomplished feel like in your body?
It feels like a big old, rooster that's got its puffed out and its little feathers doing whatever roosters do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just kind of sassy.
Yeah. And energetic. And there's like a proud to it too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's great. Because, every goal that we want is because of a feeling that we think we're going to get, right? So it's never like, yes, we need money to live. Yes, we need money to do the things that, we want to do in our life, to buy the things we want to have, to support people and ourselves in the way that we want to be supported. But there's a feeling behind why the money. And sometimes it's easy to just get stuck in that metric. And it's great to have the metric so you actually know how you define success. But more important is how do you think you're going to feel when that happens? Because that's really what you're after, right?
You're full of some truth bombs today.
Hey, you know it. That's what happens with your morning meditation. You guys, for those of you that don't know me or don't know me well, I meditate every morning. And so starting my day from a place of quiet and connection is just so helpful. So, and the meditation doesn't have to be sitting. It can just be moving intentionally and breathing and all of that stuff. All right. Anybody else want to share? What's that thing?
I
Lily.
will go.
Hi.
Yeah, for
yes.
me that would be coaching for a certain amount of hours. Like I need to know that I will coach like every month.
Nice. Okay. What will that give you? How will you feel when you do that?
I would feel probably proud and also more balance, like between my 9 to 5 work and the coaching. Like I think that I would feel more balanced.
And how will that balance fit in with your self-care? Will that keep you taking care of yourself too?
Yeah, because one of my decisions today, like when we were talking about the 6 previous months, was to choose myself, to take care of myself, to take a break. And I decided like I took 6 weeks vacation to stop, to think, to breathe, to create, to take care of myself and think what I'm going to do with my business.
Wow. That's amazing. 6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
Cool. That sounds fun. I love that. Yeah, that sounds amazing. Okay. Francesca, Joanna, anything that you'd like to share with us? You can type it in the chat or you could take yourself off mute. Either is good for me. Hi, Joanna. I see you're off mute.
Hi, Candy, and thank you for having this call. This is my first time here, so I'm very excited to be here.
I am so glad you're here.
Thank you. So for me, I am going to do consulting work in order to support my coaching work, and I'm quitting my job this summer to kind of like build these businesses. So what I would like is to have at least 1 to 2 consulting clients by November.
Nice. How will you feel when you've accomplished that?
Like I could breathe.
Okay. A relief kind of breathe? A relief as in, oh, that was hard, or a relief as in, this is happening. This is going to work.
A relief as it's like, I have some money.
Yay. Okay. I love that. Can you feel that feeling in your body right now? That relief, can you, because that feeling, you can have that now, even before you have those consulting clients. Can you feel it?
Not yet. I am still inhaling, but I'm not exhaling yet.
Okay. What's stopping you from exhaling?
I think it's fear.
Yeah. I don't mean to minimize, that uncomfortable, because it is uncomfortable. And just know you're in good company. There's 7 of us here on the call. Every single one of us feels fear, especially at the next step. So you're in good company. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you for sharing. Francesca, what about you? Are you able to share or not today? Oh, I see you've typed. I'm doing this exercise seriously, but privately. No problem. It is very personal. I'm so glad you said that. And I appreciate everybody does it in their own way, in the way that is right for them. So I'm glad to hear it. All right. So you have that thing. And when I think about this one thing that I asked you about, it is, you can use that accomplishment and the emotion that you believe you will feel as your motivation. So the more that you come to that place of relief or accomplished or like feeling energized, if you can come and find that feeling that you're going to have when you reach that goal, it's going to make the entire journey so much easier. Does that make sense to you, or does it sound confusing? Okay. I see you nodding, Loie. I see some other thoughts, people thinking and thinking and thinking. Does that make sense? Do you know how to capture a feeling of an emotion in your body before you've actually seen the outer proof? Yes.
Do you mean like feeling like being?
I think it's like, if you want to feel a certain way, you can create that emotion in a couple of ways in your body now.
Yeah.
We can either use our thinking, our thoughts, specific thoughts that help to cultivate that emotion, or we can go back like almost full circle to how we started this call. There is a way of creating emotion in your body. You can just breathe in, inhale, say the word for that emotion in your mind, and then it's hard to explain, but it's easier to do. So let's find a word that is not too difficult. Let's go with accomplished. Have you all experienced feeling accomplished before? Where I did a good job. Yeah, I did well, right? Okay. So sorry, Joanna, I was pronouncing your name wrong. I see it's Shohana. So Shohana, I'm assuming you've experienced accomplished before as well. Francesca as well. That feeling like I did a good job. I did well. Okay. So here we're going to find that feeling in 2 different ways. The first is, I want you to just inhale, and I want you to think that word accomplished. And as Loie described earlier, she gets this feeling where she's a little bit fuller up here through the top of her chest. Just like, I breathe in, I think the word accomplished, and I don't know how to describe it. It's like I kind of cultivate it in the back of my brain. I'm like, accomplished. And then I look for this feeling here, and I might breathe again, and I think the word again. Can you feel a shift? Can you feel accomplished, or can you feel that you feel differently than you did prior to starting? You can put up your hand, or you can say yes, or you can nod your head. Any of these is good for me. Yeah, okay. Can you feel accomplished? Daniel, what about you? Can you feel that feeling of accomplished? Yeah, okay, good. Melissa, what about you? I see you thinking. You're a thinker person. Thank you, Lily. Yeah, okay. You do all the thinking, right, Melissa? All the thinking. Yeah, okay. And Shohana, I can't see you, but I'm assuming, okay, I have mixed feelings. Okay, so that's interesting. So let's come back to, and I really appreciate that you share this with us, because this is kind of how we learn, right? Like, this is how I learn, where I could be more clear in my questions. This is how, where maybe we just need to try again. So let's just try it again. We're going to have this feeling of accomplished. So now we're going to approach it from a different place. Melissa, I think you're a person who thinks a lot. So you might be more of a brain person, right? So one way in was the way we tried. Take a breath, think the word accomplished, and kind of cultivate that physical sensation. For me, it's up here in my chest. Now let's try the other way into the word accomplished. Can you remember a time that you felt like, I did such a good job with that? I met that deadline, or, you know, that project, I really did well. Can you remember that? A time when I'm really pleased that I did that, or I made such a beautiful dinner. It was such a wonderful weekend. I put on, I had some friends over. It doesn't matter what it is, but something where you think, I did really well. Okay, Melissa, I'm seeing your head nodding. Shohana, what about you? Can you think of a time where you felt accomplished, you did good work, and you were proud of yourself?
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with the word accomplish. Like, I don't have a positive relationship with that. So I'm trying to shift it in my mind to something that resonates better with me.
Good, good. And I'm glad that you're taking this and making it right for you. And so this is really interesting, because I have a positive association with the word accomplished. For me, it's a feeling of, it's a warmer feeling than proud. Proud feels like I'm really standing up and standing on a stage. Accomplished feels warm and inclusive. But accomplished could feel like hard driving, or any other association that you have with it. So good for you for owning what's right for you. Okay, so what we've got here is two ways into a certain feeling. We've done the body way, and we've done the thinking way, the remembering. That remembering is using our thoughts, and our thoughts help to create our feelings. There are some schools of coaching that say your thoughts create your feelings. I think there's a kind of a two-way street that happens here. So just in this little bit of time, you've hopefully been able to feel a certain way, feel a way that's a little bit different than you felt before we started the exercise. So that is what you can do to cultivate that feeling that you expect to feel when you reach that next milestone 6 months from now. So that is the way to make your milestone, reaching your milestone, easier. Come to the emotion that you think you're going to feel then, but feel it now, so that you're already gaining from reaching that next milestone. You're already gaining by going towards that goal. You're already gaining by making that next step in the journey of who you're becoming. So it's just an approach that I think could help you. Is that useful? Yeah, okay, good. All right, let me look at my notes, see if there was anything else that I wanted to touch on. Yeah, okay. So just to wrap it up and to take it and make it practical, because I'm always about the practical as well. We've got some thoughts about 6 months from now, what you would like to achieve. If it was June 2nd, 1 month from today, let's just take a minute and I would like you to capture what you need to do in the next 1 month to make sure that you're moving towards your 6-month vision. What's the one thing, 2 things, 3 things that you need to do to make this happen? And I'm intentionally giving you not very long to do these writing exercises. I believe that we have a lot more knowing than we give ourselves credit for. And something that is also important is that you 6 months from now, you're probably well on your way already. So sometimes that one thing or 2 things or 3 things to keep doing to make that 6-month dream or goal or vision to bring it into reality is to just keep doing what you're already doing. Right. So surprisingly, when I was thinking like 6 months from now, what would be important to me to really accomplish? And the weirdest thing came up. It was to write every day. Now, I am not a great writer, but I like writing and it has it works for me. And so when I was like, oh, okay, so if it was November the 2nd, and I'm looking back over the 6 months, what would make me feel like I really made progress in an area that I wanted to? Writing every day. So my 1 month thing is, well, get started writing a little bit every day. It was so simple. It didn't have to be a big, huge production. It was just like, well, then you'd better get writing every day. And then the first thing I thought was, have I written today? And I was like, yeah, actually I have. I've written a little bit today already. So I'm telling you that just so that you can see a view into my world as well. And also so that you can see it doesn't have to be difficult. Very good. Daniel, getting out of the thinking and start doing. Right. Just a little bit of doing. You got it. That's exactly the right approach. Good for you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay. Anybody else? One thing that you want to get done? How will you start so that 6 months? I'm kind of hesitating calling it a goal, like it's sort of like a dream, a vision, you want it to happen, but a goal sometimes has a really harsh feeling around it. And so I'm just trying to create sort of a softer container. If you see me kind of working with these different worlds, trusting yourself more and being grateful. Excellent. Intention. Thank you. That's helpful. 6-month intention. I like it. Thank you. Appreciate that, Daniel. Send more prospective client emails. Very well, Shohana. Nice. And it's something that is so doable, even if you do have to deal with a little bit of discomfort in the writing and the sending and all of that. But now you know exactly what you need to do to move yourself towards that 6-month intention of having a couple of consulting clients. Well done. Okay. Anybody else want to share before we wrap up for today? All right. Was this helpful? Did this give you some thoughts to think towards? And really, I really want to make sure that with these Monday calls that it gives you a place to sort of ground yourself for the week so that you feel more energized, more moved in the area of doing the things that you want to get done with your life. So that's my aim as we spend this time together. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful week. Okay, bye-bye, everybody.